You need to forget everything you know about nutrition. Let me say that again. You need to forget everything you know about nutrition. You see, we were told that saturated fat was the villain and sugar was not a problem. And people believed that, and a lot of people still believe that, but it's simply not true. In fact, it's not even up for debate. There is physical documented evidence that the sugar industry paid scientists to say that saturated fat was linked to heart disease and other issues, cancer, and so forth, and to downplay the role of sugar in such diseases. Check out this article. It's in the description of this video from the New York Times. If you don't believe me, read the article. This is just not up for debate. There is, physical evidence that this took place. So you need to open your mind a bit and think about things here for a minute, okay? First of all, when this happened and saturated fat became the villain, right? We started going to low fat diets, right? Didn't worry about the amount of sugar we consumed and so forth. What happened? The amount of obesity, the percentage of obesity went up. It skyrocketed. Diseases like heart disease, cancer, so many other like autoimmune diseases and so forth went up. If saturated fat and LDL cholesterol is the problem with heart disease, then why does it continue to get worse? Why do people that take statins to lower their LDL still have problems with heart disease? Don't just go with what people have told you. Think about this. Use your own reasoning. It does not make sense. And the reason is because the scientists were paid off and that stuck. And it's continued for years and years that the general public believes that saturated fat is the problem. Now, more recently, there's been a bigger push that sugar is bad for you. There's still people that'll say that it's not a problem. There's people that'll say that, sugar can be eaten in moderation and that the big problem is still saturated fat and so forth. But there at least has been some recognition that sugar is a problem now, where going back to like the 60s, it was not recognized as a problem. It was pushed to the side. In reality, you need fat. You need it for energy. You need it for your brain to function properly. There's so many things that you need fat for, and it is not bad for you. So you need to relearn nutrition, forget everything you learned in the past, and relearn things and use your own mind to base your own decisions. Don't just say, yes, I believe that this is the case, or like, I believe that saturated fat is bad for you because somebody told me that, because you don't know that that is correct, right? I mean, look, 2,000 years ago, everyone thought the earth was flat. Now, except for a few people that believe in conspiracy theories, everyone else knows differently now. We know the earth is not flat, right? The thing about science is that science is correct until you prove that it's not, right? Science is always evolving. Why is it evolving? Because we're always learning new things. If you're not willing to learn more about nutrition and be open to the possibility that what you've been told in the past is wrong, then you're not really doing science and you're not thinking correctly, because there's always the openness to learn and to believe that, yes, the theory we had in the past is incorrect, and this is our best guess, because that's what science is. It's an educated hypothesis, into what is correct. Now, we know that we're not going to be able to go and say there is this factual proof that this diet works best. There's no study that will ever tell you that. There's no one that is willing to do that study. It would cost way too much money and it would be inhumane, to be honest. You could not do what you needed to do. You would have to have two people of very similar gene makeups basically closed off in a room somewhere where one was fed a certain way, the other one was fed a different way, and everything else was exactly the same and would have to have been done for pretty much their whole life to see how their lives turned out. That study has never taken place and probably never will. So you can say that this diet works best or that diet works best, but there is no physical evidence that will ever say that that is correct, that this diet works the best. You're going to have to use your own judgment and what you believe is right. And if you're going to do that, you need to open your mind and think about what could or could not be true, because there are people out there that are just trying to make money and they will tell you things that aren't necessarily true. Look, there are people that are giving out guidelines that are on the board of different pharmaceuticals or different food companies and so forth. You need to keep your mind open and listen to all the different possibilities and make what you believe is the best decision for yourself. Don't let others make that decision for you, but you need to listen to all of the information. I before I started Carnivore, I spent months and months looking into things, and I came to the conclusion that this was the best diet for me. And I've had so many health benefits, health issues that have gone away. I've lost a lot of weight. I've kept the weight off. I've never kept the weight off for this long before. It's been over a year and a half since I started Carnivore, and I'm continuing to do well. I'm thriving. I don't have the pain and some of the health issues I had in the past. I know I made the right decision for myself. No, I'm not saying that you can't do another diet and that that's not going to work for you, because that would be completely incorrect for me to say, especially if you're coming from a really bad diet that is really high in processed foods and sugars and so forth. There's almost anything you can do that cuts down on the amount of processed food and sugar that would be better for you than eating that way. So you need to do what's right for you, right? And I'm a champion for you no matter what it is you're doing. If you're doing some sort of low carb, keto, ketovore, carnivore, lion diet, if you're vegan even or whatever, if that is what you've done to better yourself because the way you were eating before was so bad, then that is great and I support you. That's right. Some of the people watching my channel that are going to be like strict carnivores probably don't like that I say that I would support a vegan. Now, I personally would not eat that way, but that's me personally. And that person eating that way, they may actually be feeling better than what they were before because that they got rid of processed foods and sugars. So more power to them. Me personally, if I eat certain vegetables and so forth, I have pain. But they might not have the same problem with joint pains and oxalates and stuff like that. Everybody is different and, it's okay. The important thing is that they have done the research themselves and they're doing what they believe is the right thing for them. And that's for anybody on any of these different ways of eating that's different than the standard American diet. There's always the possibility that down the road you're going to find that something else works better for you. But the fact that you have done something that is to better your health and has fixed certain health issues, you've lost weight, whatever, you've done something positive for yourself to get off this, bad time that you were in from eating highly processed foods and sugars and so forth. If you're done something that has improved your health, that is great. And I applaud you. And I say, keep going on. Maybe you'll find something else works a little better as you continue to go. You might tweak it a little bit. I might find something that works better for me as I go as well. That's just how the process works. We're all in this together, trying to find what is the best thing for our bodies and how we can get healthy again. Because let's face it, in today's society, after listening to those lies about saturated fat and sugar, our society has gotten unhealthy and overweight. And we all need to do something about it. Nobody wants to be unhealthy. Nobody wants to be overweight. And it's time for us all to take our health into our own hands.